So, during an EAP setup, you have a series of policy decisions to make as a sponsor or manufacturer. These will need to be taken cross-functionally, as described earlier. What are those core policy decisions? We believe there's four. First of all is where to hold them, what's the geography. Secondly, what's your charging policy? Is it going to be free of charge compassionate supply, or is it going to be charge supply? Thirdly, is the inclusion and exclusion criteria you will apply. So let's look at some of these policy areas in more depth. First of all, timing. There's no fixed regulatory time of when you can start an EAP across different countries. Each country and each jurisdiction will have its own differences from program to program. But if you look at it, there's probably 4 times across the life cycle that people are likely to start these programs. The first one is when there's compelling data released. The second, when pivotal data is released. The third, upon first submission to a regulatory authority. And fourthly, when first approval happens. So, let's expand a little bit around those. What do we mean by compelling data? Particularly in the area of ultra-orphan or particularly pediatric ultra-orphan, where there really is no other treatments and no other therapies for these patients. There could be compelling data as early phase 2, or even sometimes just phase 1 data, which is enough for the patient or patient's carers and physician to weigh up that risk-benefit ratio and decide that the risk is outweighed by the possible benefits of the treatment for that individual. Those are in those very small subgroup rare patient thing. Being no normal, however, to launch your EAP around the second core point. That's when pivotal data is released. Let me give you an example of this. We see again and again pivotal data being shared at, say, a closed symposium at ASCO or another learned society. And one of the key questions the thought leaders, both from the USA or around the world, ask is this available in an access program? Can I get this for a patient that's in my clinic tomorrow, the next week, the next month, someone I've been treating for? And it's upon that first release of pivotal data that you will get requests from physicians into use, and indeed from patients, to try your therapy. Some companies will leave it a tad longer and leave it until they submit to their first regulatory authority. So upon the time of submitting to the FDA, they will put a press release out saying we submit to the FDA and we're going to launch an access program, potentially just within the USA or indeed globally. Some companies will leave it even a little bit later and start their EAP upon the first approval from a regulatory authority. So, the announcement is we have gained approval by the FDA, and for those countries not covered by FDA, we are initiating an EAP. Really, the choice between those timing points is one for the manufacturer. It's a balance. What is the unmet clinical need? What are your commercial and development requirements? What is your company capacity in order to do it, and your company footprint? All of these questions need a cross-functional approach in order to come up with the right answer for your therapy, for your company, and most importantly for the patients.